Now that I have created my physical topology, now I'm going to create my logical topology. And you can see that I have created some logical topology and drawn it here. And it is very simple, and you do not need to be a design engineer to create a topology right now, because we are just creating a topology that includes every technology that I need to explain to you. So this topology has some endpoint devices such as switch 1 in this way, and I'm going to rename the router 4 to BB1. That is gonna be my backbone device, and this is connected to router 3 using a frame relay connection. And I have some LAN connection, different VLANs, and some frame relay connection. That in this design, I have specified router 3 as my hub, and router 1 and 2 are going to play the spokes here. So I'm going to create this topology and configure them on my router here. So let's see how we can do this. First of all, I need to go to frame relay router, frame relay configuration, and change them so that I can have these ports number added to my configuration. And of course, I need to add a configuration to router 3. So you can see that I have two different frame relay connection, and one of these is gonna be serial 01, and I haven't added the name here. The router 3's connection to backbone 1 is gonna use serial 01. So I can go to GNS3 then, because we are going to work with this. Select the frame relay and select the configure and go to frame relay. You can see that I have created 4 ports previously, but I need to add some more. Let's change this configuration. I double click on one of these, and you can see that this is now available here. I have, based on my topology, router 3 is gonna be the hub, so 301 is gonna connect to 103, so I change this, or I can add, of course. This is gonna be the connection that I have. Router 3's 301 is gonna connect to router 1's 103. Now I have connection between router 2 and router 3 that is not defined here, so I add port 2 of router 2 using 203 to connect port 3 using 302. So I add this to my configuration, and I can delete some of the lines that I do not need. I do not have any connection between router 1 and 2, so I delete port number 1 and 2's connection. And I have this, so I have to delete this as well. Now router 3 is gonna have another connection, so this connection port number is gonna be, for example, 4, and the connection port number of router 4 is gonna be numbered 5. So I have both of these assigned DLC number 100, so I assign these and add to my topology. Now let's check what we have here. I have the connection between router 1 and 2, and that is no, I do not have it, so I have to define it here. Port number 1 using, no, I do not need connection between router 1 and 2. I need connection between router 1 and 3, and this is present here. I have connection between router 2 and 3, and I also have connection between router 3 and 4 using these port numbers. Now the only thing that I need to do is this. Let's check it again. Sometimes in GNS3 we have some unwanted bugs. For example, you assign DLCs and you come back and see that everything is gone. Now I have this. Let's save everything first, and now I want to delete the connection between router backbone. I do not have any connection between frame relay and backbone, so let's add a connection here. I go to frame relay and I have port number 4 here that is gonna connect to router 3 serial 01, and you can see that serial 01 is already connected to BB1 using a point-to-point connection. Let's delete this first. I click on that and hit delete, so that this point-to-point connection is gone. Now I can go and add serial 01 to port 4, and router BB1 serial 01 is gonna connect to frame relay port 5. Now I have everything corrected here. Now I should save before going on, And now that I have everything configured, I should go and do my, add my commands to my routers. First of all, I need to change some commands here. I want to add this using a notepad script. Because this is the default configuration, none of my interfaces are working, so I need to go to enable mode, I need to go to configuration mode using configure terminal command, I need to go to interface fast 00, and I want to change the speed to 100. I want to make them work in full duplex mode, and I want to unshut them. So I copy all of these lines and use them with fast 01, and on serial 001, serial 00, of course, I have serial 00. I only need to no shut this, so I go to serial 01 and unshut this interface as well. And I need to change some command lines in console 0 port, and that is changing the exec timeout. And I'm going to do this because sometimes it times out of auto console and we experience a high CPU performance, so I need to know that it will not get out of this mode. So I add this line, and I also no privilege mode level, of course, no privilege 15, so that I do not go straight to privilege mode. So this is what I want to add to my interfaces, and I copy all of them and paste them on every router, and I do this here and this and this. Now I have everything connected, and you can see some caret line here because this is an error, and this is because I have no serial interface on my switches, so this is why I see this. So now I have everything here working. Now I should go and configure the VLANs on my switches, and first of all I should see that if I have any trunk configured between the switches. So show interface trunk is the command to check this. So I have now configured trunk here, so I go to interface range, and I know that fast 1, 14 and 15 are in between the two switches. So I go to switch port mode, I go to switch port trunk encapsulation .1q, and then I assign the switch port mode trunk, and this is of course the only mode that GNS3 supports. So I copy these lines. Now that I have these two interfaces in trunk mode, I want to make sure that switch 2 has the same commands applied to these two interfaces. So I go to interface fast 1, 14 to 15, and of course it's gonna be interface range, and now they will be put in switch port mode and they will go to trunk mode. Now I have trunking enabled in these two ports. Let's check them. Show interface trunk will tell me that these two interfaces are in trunk mode. Now the only thing that I need to add here is adding VLANs. So to add VLANs I need command VLAN. Let's see what VLANs we have here in our diagram. We have VLAN 25, 12, 16 and 36. So I add all of them in one go. So I add VLAN 16 and I add a comma 36, and what else? I had 25 and 12 and 25, and I hit enter, and you can see that I am in VLAN configuration mode. I exit to apply these VLANs. Now I have these VLANs assigned to my VLAN database. Let's see this. You show VLAN, and you do not need to add this dash s if you are working on real switches, because this is a GNS3 problem, and I want to see them in brief. So if I type in brief, you can see that all my VLANs are activated right now. Now I should check the VTP status. This is not gonna be a switching course, so I'm not going to explain these commands right now. When I start switching labs, I will talk about these commands in detail. So show VTP status will tell me the VTP status. You can see that there is no domain name assigned here. So because we have no domain name, I cannot propagate my domain, my VLANs to switch 2, and I want to have this on switch 2. So I go and type VTP domain, and I'm going to have this as CCNP labs. So I have assigned VTP domain name, and you can see that switch 2 is gonna have these VLANs received. To show VLAN brief told me that I have every VLAN that I had configured on switch 1, and this is because I have VTP domain name, I have a trunk configured between switches, and I have configured the correct VLANs on all my switches. Now in the second part, I'm going to assign VLANs to each interface and have connectivity checked.